Welcome to this short video, which is in the form of a presentation, and it's a very simple message that I have today, and it is titled, "When the student is ready, the teacher will appear." When we find resonance, inspiration, and feel motivated to follow a pointing or teaching, we are on the right path. That simply means that the heart is open to the resonance, the inspiration, and the motivation. And it's also known as clean energy. Not that energy can be dirty, but in the world of polarization, there is always an opposite. But this is more of pure, clean, clear energy. So resonance is when we can relate to the teaching on a deeper level of the heart. When we experience this energy, we open our hearts and relax without fear and doubt. That resonance is like it's like the heart is being kissed and gently. It's just a tender resonance. You can feel the vibration. You can feel it with your being. You can hear it. You know that this is the truth. Inspirational is when someone speaks and that talk lifts you up. You have you have experienced inspiration. So you can be inspired to take action. You can be inspired to see yourself differently if you ever had any negative self-talk. And then you hear of an inspirational story where somebody was where you was or in a similar situation, and they tell you how they come out of it, how this was possible, how that was possible, there's potential, and that can inspire you. It can kind of give ourselves permission. So inspiration comes from an inner knowing, also known as intuition. Although intuition is not personal, it's a universal, intelligent faculty. It can be experienced on an individual level. And motivational, when we are inspired to take a specific action, it means we have been influenced to put it to the test for ourselves. When motivation is in the air, the action is always effortless, smooth, clean, and clear. So we've all heard of motivational speakers that can fire you up to take action. It's an energetic field. It gives you, it sort of delivers energy. And that energy is usually love. I mean, all of this, what I've spoken about, can come through the intelligence and fear, but we're here to talk about the intelligence and the love. So there is no good and bad. Everything is vibrational. There is such a thing as teachers and teaching, and there is also equally something known as student and learning. So under the title vibrational, when something resonates, it can have two meanings. And we can say this resonates is the same as this does not resonate. So you can hear something, you're listening to this is either resonating or not resonating. It depends what you're looking for, where you are, and why you've come across this video. And that is the simple truth. It's not it is not the resonance in and of itself. It is the energy behind the words or the energy behind a thing. Something can happen and it can be an act of love and it touches your heart because that act of love resonated. We can also see something in the world that is not of a high vibration. It's quite a low vibration. It hurts others. It doesn't consider others. And we can say that doesn't resonate, that does not feel right. And that's when we start to use the language, that's bad. But it's just energy, it's vibration. And it's the same with teachers and teaching. There are no personal teachings or personal teachers. The script, which is called teaching, is from life source. And the individual expression of the one consciousness is often named the teacher. So I know that we can have an opinion that that teacher's good, that teacher's bad, that teacher's not practicing what they preach, that one is. It's all from the mind. That's all from judgment. In truth, we are our own teachers and we are our own teaching. All we need to do is look at the results that we're getting in life. If we have an investment in looking at other people and having an opinion about them, then what sort of a teacher are we teaching ourselves? So everybody is responsible for their own teachers and teaching. However, there are messages that come through vessels that point in the right direction or in the wrong direction. It depends on your vibration and your resonance, and it depends on what you've come to do or what you believe you've come to do in this game of life. And it's the same with student and learning. We are all students of life, and so therefore there is always something to learn whilst we play the game of spiritual life. It's a game. It doesn't mean it doesn't have responsibilities. It's a game with rules. Those rules will only apply or feel like rules if we want to work against them. The law, universal laws are there to stop us from hurting ourselves and hurting others, and that's where consequences come in. But that is the nature of the game. The key is to find your grounding on the truth, and you can see truth is spelt with capital letters there. Find the truth, the never changing, that aspect, that part of that totality of who and what we are. It's to rediscover that. We can only be it, but then we cannot not be it, but then it's to discover that for oneself and allow life to guide your destiny through learning from the divine leadership mandate for you. What do I mean by that? That life does have a purpose. The primary purpose is to, through the body mind, through the avatar, through the soul, is to wake up, because it's the soul realm that falls asleep and becomes this thing that we called ego, which is just an illusion, but it is the sleep. It's to wake up to the truth of being I am that I am. But it's the soul that wakes up, it's the soul that falls asleep, and it's the soul that wakes up. And the nature of the game, once the soul wakes up, it realizes its true nature, it realizes the nature of the game. It then says, that's it, I'm out the game, and it falls back into its original source. And that is when divine intelligence starts to lead. It's always been leading, but it becomes more obvious that there's divine leadership. And that divine leadership reveals to the awakened soul its true purpose and destiny. And just a final point before I go. There's a saying that if it feels good, it must be true. Well, one thing I know for sure is that we feel with our being. Our being can be influenced. It can be influenced by intelligence and love, or intelligence and fear. So if it feels good, it must be true. If we are accustomed to the sleep state, which is fear, then the beingness is being influenced by fear, the energy of fear. So the advice, the teaching here is to first establish your clear seeing of present awareness. And then we don't have to rely on feelings. We know who we are. We walk as that, as just constantly paying attention to, being aware of awareness, which can only be done by recognition. There is no teaching points to be who and what we are. There are teaching points that can teach us who and what we are not, or teaching points that can show us to let go of what we are not. And when we've let go of enough ego, we wake up and we realise that never actually happened, but it was definitely a real experience. And then we become established in the awakened state and say it was a dream that never was. It didn't even happen. It wasn't even a real experience. I've never moved. And that is what is meant by treading the path, falling asleep, believing the sleep state, waking up to the truth of your nature, your true nature, which is awareness, and through the soul becoming aware of the awareness. When there's enough trust, and it's all grace, by the way, it's not a person doing it. So when there's enough trust, then the soul surrenders completely to its true nature because it knows its destiny, it knows why it was here, it understands. There's understanding, but it's the silence that becomes the teacher. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has brought you some value and some understanding. Thank you.